My beloved child, this very moment you are hearing. My voice is not a coincidence. It is not by accident or chance that you've arrived here. I have guided your steps with purpose, orchestrating every detail so that you would hear these words when your heart needed them most. I have waited patiently for this moment, a moment where your spirit is quiet enough to receive what I've been longing to whisper. This is your confirmation. You've been carrying questions about your worth, your future, your purpose. You've looked up in the silence and wondered if I still speak. You've asked me if I still see you, if I still move, if there is more to your story than what you've seen. I am answering you now. I have seen every tear, every silent cry, every moment of wondering whether I'm still near. And I want you to hear this clearly. I never left. I never stopped speaking. I never gave up on the masterpiece I created in you. You were never just wandering. Even when you felt lost, you were being led. Even when you felt like you were failing, I was using every broken piece to build something beautiful. I was never distant. I was working in the background, preparing the way. I've seen the disappointments, the delays, the doors that didn't open, and I want you to know they were not punishments. They were protection. You have not missed your moment. It is unfolding now. Through my son Jesus, I have already made the way. He did not walk the earth just to be remembered. He walked it so that you could walk in freedom, in healing, in power. He came so that miracles wouldn't just be part of history, but part of your present reality. And I want you to know, child, your miracle has not passed you by. It is closer than you think. What I am releasing into your life will not look like what you expected, but it will carry the unmistakable signature of heaven. This message is a divine key, and what it opens is not small. What I am about to do in your life is not temporary. It is transformational. The shift has already begun. Even as you listen, something is stirring in your spirit, and that stirring is me. I am breathing on the very places that once felt lifeless. I am igniting hope again in a heart that has grown tired. And I am declaring to you that your season of waiting was not in vain. There is power in agreement. Heaven and earth move together when you align your heart with what I have spoken. And this moment, this sacred moment, is the meeting point of your surrender and my supernatural release. You have longed for confirmation, and here it is. You are not forgotten. You are not behind. You are not broken beyond repair. You are mine. You are chosen. You are called for such a time as this. You have walked through fire, but you were not burned. You have endured storms that others never saw, and still, here you are. Still breathing, still believing, still hoping. And that is what I honor. That is what I bless. I have counted every sacrifice. I have seen every time you chose to believe when it would have been easier to give up. And now, my beloved, I am responding. The breakthrough you've been waiting for has already begun. It is not coming. It is here. It is moving around you, within you, even now as you sit in the stillness of this moment. You have stepped into a divine shift, and what once resisted you will now begin to align. I am restoring what was stolen. I am redeeming what was lost. I am healing what was broken. I am awakening what has been asleep within you. You are not too late. You have not missed it. Every moment of delay was laced with my intention. Every closed door was me rerouting you to better. What I'm doing in your life now will not require you to strive, but to trust. Not to fight for attention, but to rest in my presence. Because what I give, I sustain. What I start, I finish. What I promise, I fulfill. I know how weary you've become. The weight you've been carrying has been heavier than you let anyone see, but I am lifting it now. The shame that has clung to your shoulders like chains is breaking. The fear that has whispered lies to your heart is losing its grip. The disappointment that tried to define you is being rewritten by my mercy. I am rewriting the script of your life, not based on your failures but on my faithfulness. You are standing at the divine intersection of your pain and my promise. And when those two meet, something supernatural is born. Not just a blessing, but a legacy. Not just an answer, but an anointing. I am not just blessing you for your sake, but for the sake of generations that will come after you. Your yes in this moment will ripple through the lives of others in ways you cannot yet imagine. I have placed dreams in you that you buried, thinking the time had passed. But time has no power to cancel what I have ordained. I have not changed my mind about your purpose. I have not withdrawn my promise. In fact, I have been nurturing it in silence, protecting it from the attacks that would have destroyed it prematurely. Now it is time. Time for vision to meet provision. Time for sorrow to meet joy. Time for delay to meet destiny. You do not need to understand how it will happen. That is not your burden. Your role is to receive, to believe, and to rest in the assurance that I am who I say I am. I am the God who sees you, the God who knows you, the God who finishes what he starts. And this is not just a message, it is a marker, a line in the sand, the beginning of something you will never be able to explain in natural terms. This is the start of your miracle. Quietly, in this very moment, something sacred has already begun. Let peace settle into your soul. Let the noise fade. Let your spirit lean in, because I am not done speaking. I have more to say, and what comes next will take your breath away. My child, let your heart remain open, because what I am speaking to you now is not just for comfort. It is for transformation. You have stepped into a divine moment, one that was written into your story before you even knew to ask for it. This moment is not ordinary. It is a sacred alignment between what you have endured and what I have prepared. Though you have questioned the delays, though you have wondered why some prayers felt unanswered, I want you to know that nothing has been ignored. Nothing has been wasted. Even in the silence, I was working. Even in the waiting, I was weaving every thread together for good. You have walked through seasons that stretched you beyond your strength. There were nights when your soul groaned with weariness, and yet you rose again. There were mornings when your mind was clouded with doubt, but you chose to keep believing. And though it felt like your faith was small, to me, it was mighty. Because faith is not measured by its size, but by its endurance. And your faith has endured. It has survived heartbreak, betrayal, disappointment, and loss. It has stood in the face of storms, and it has not crumbled. It may have trembled, but it never failed. That faith is what has moved me. That faith is what has brought you here. You have longed for clarity. You've asked me to make things plain, to show you the reason behind the struggle. But I don't just explain, I reveal. I unfold truth in layers like the rising of the sun, not all at once, but steadily, beautifully, in my perfect timing. What you could not see before is now beginning to come into view. The fog is lifting. The confusion is clearing. The answers you thought would never come are now moving toward you. I am illuminating your path, step by step, and you will begin to recognize my fingerprints on everything that once seemed chaotic. There have been battles that wore you down, situations that made you feel forgotten, and voices that tried to convince you that you had no place, no power, no promise. But I tell you now, you are not forgotten. You are not voiceless. You are not without inheritance. You are mine, and I have written your name in places you haven't even stepped into yet. I have whispered your future in heavenly chambers, where angels stand ready to move on your behalf. You may feel small in this moment, but what I have placed within you is anything but small. It is eternal. It is powerful. It is awakening now. There is a shift happening inside of you. It is subtle, yet undeniable. It is the kind of shift that begins before the evidence shows. A stirring in your spirit, a steady rise of peace that defies logic. It is the beginning of restoration. What was broken is being made whole. What was buried is coming back to life. What was dormant is awakening with divine energy. You may not have the words for it, but you can feel it. And that is because it is real. My spirit is moving, not in theory, not in metaphor, but in reality. You have been through enough to think it might be too late. You have looked around and seen others rise while you stayed still. You have compared your journey and wondered if you missed your moment. But I am not bound by human timelines. I do not rush, and I do not forget. What I started in you, I intend to finish. And I do not begin something unless I intend to bring it to completion with glory. You haven't missed it. In fact, you're right on time, right where I want you, right in the center of my grace. The trials were never meant to destroy you. They were meant to develop you. The wilderness was not a place of abandonment, but a place of preparation. You were being trained in the unseen. Your roots were growing deeper even as the surface looked still. I was strengthening your spirit for the weight of what's coming. Because where I'm taking you, shallow foundations won't do. You needed depth. You needed endurance. You needed intimacy with me. And now that the foundation is firm, I am building upon it something that will last. There is a restoration coming to you that will redeem not just what was lost, but even the time that was lost. I know you've thought certain seasons were wasted. Years you can never get back. Opportunities that slipped away. Relationships that fell apart. But I am the God who redeems time. I can do in a moment what would take man a lifetime. I can restore joy that was lost for decades. I can resurrect purpose that was buried under the rubble of disappointment. I can renew your strength until you run again with passion you thought had died. This is the season where you will begin to see me, not just in your spirit, but in your surroundings. I am aligning people, moments, and resources in your favor. Things that felt like delays will now reveal themselves as divine setups. Connections will come that carry keys to the doors you've been knocking on. Wisdom will rise in you in places where there was once only confusion. Grace will go before you in situations where you once struggled. And through it all, my hand will be unmistakable. You do not need to strive or chase to receive what I have for you. You only need to remain close. I have always been your source, not a job, not a title, not an opportunity, me. And what I give, no one can take away. What I build, no storm can destroy. And what I bless, no curse can cancel. Your identity is secure in me. Your purpose is protected by me. And your future is unfolding according to my design. Let your soul rest in this truth. You are not starting over. You are stepping forward. You are not behind. You are being accelerated. You are not being punished. You are being positioned. Everything you have endured has equipped you to carry what I am releasing now. You are stronger than you know, wiser than you think, and more anointed than you've ever felt. Not because of your strength, but because of mine within you. So let the past stay in the past. Let regret fall from your shoulders. Let shame lose its grip. There is nothing in your history that disqualifies you from the destiny I've written. In fact, I have woven even your broken moments into the tapestry of my plan. What the enemy meant for harm, I have turned for good. What was meant to break you has instead revealed the beauty of endurance. And now that endurance will produce glory. Stay present with me. Listen. Lean in. Because what's coming next will require your attention, your awareness, and your trust. This journey we're on is not ending, it's just beginning. And the next word I speak will carry power enough to move mountains you once thought were permanent. Let your heart prepare. Let your spirit stay open. Because I am still speaking, and what I am about to reveal in the next moment will change everything. My beloved child, you are standing on sacred ground, not the kind you walk on with your feet, but the kind your spirit steps into when heaven draws near. I have brought you here, not to entertain you, not to inspire you for a moment and then leave you unchanged. I have brought you here to awaken something eternal, something powerful, something I placed in you before time began. You have heard me whisper it before, but the noise of the world tried to drown it out. The wounds you carried tried to silence it, but my voice never stopped echoing within you. You were born with purpose. You were crafted for such a time as this. And though you've been through seasons that tried to convince you otherwise, I am telling you again, my promise still stands. You've been waiting for a sign, for something to confirm what you've sensed, but didn't dare speak aloud. This is that sign. This is that confirmation. I am speaking directly to the part of you that still believes, even if it's just a flicker, and I'm telling you, that flicker is enough. I breathe on small things and turn them into miracles. I turn mustard seeds into mountains that move. I turn whispers of faith into waves of breakthrough. What I need from you right now is not perfection, it's permission. Permission to move, to lead, to heal, to restore. And child, when you give me your yes, everything changes. There is a moment, and this is it, when heaven and earth come into agreement and something invisible but undeniable begins to shift. You may not see it with your eyes yet, but your spirit already knows. That pressure in your chest, that unexpected stillness, that sudden rise of hope, that's me. I'm doing something in you before I do something around you. I always start with the heart. You've asked me to change your situation, and I'm doing more than that. I'm changing you. I'm removing fear that's been planted by lies. I'm pulling up roots of shame that told you you weren't enough. I'm untying the knots of regret that held your progress hostage. I am making all things new, not just outside you, but within you. I know how hard it's been to hold on. You've had to smile while carrying sorrow. You've had to encourage others while feeling empty yourself. You've shown up when no one saw the strength it took just to get out of bed. But I saw. I always see. Not one drop of effort, not one tear of hope has been wasted. Heaven keeps better records than you know. You are not being overlooked. You are being refined. And what I am forming in you through this season will not break. It will shine. You are gold in the fire, and the heat you feel is not destruction. It's transformation. I'm burning away the voices that never came from me, the labels that were never yours, the limitations you adopted out of pain. I'm stripping them off one by one, until what remains is the radiant reflection of who I've always seen in you. My image, my likeness, my beloved. This is why the warfare has been so intense. The enemy doesn't attack what doesn't threaten him. The pressure you felt isn't proof of failure, it's proof of purpose. The very areas where you felt the most resistance are the very places I'm releasing the greatest breakthroughs. The enemy saw what was coming and he tried to distract you, derail you, disqualify you. But what he didn't know is that you are mine, and I don't lose what belongs to me. The time of hiding is over. The season of surviving is ending. You are stepping into a season of visibility, not for vanity, but for destiny. I am raising you up not to elevate your name, but to reveal my glory through your story. Your scars will speak of healing. Your failures will be drenched in grace. Your testimony will set others free, because what I do in you will overflow. What starts in your heart will spill into your home. What begins in your soul will touch nations. Yes, it's that deep. Yes, it's that significant. No, you're not disqualified. No, you're not too late. I'm using every broken piece, every closed door, every lonely road to build something unshakable. What you thought was the end was only a pause. What you called empty, I call ready. And child, now is the time. Your miracle is not coming. It has already begun. So breathe, rest, trust me. I am still speaking, and what I say next will unlock more than you ever imagined. My child, lean in, for what I am speaking now is the seal upon this message. the final stroke of my hand before you step into what I've prepared. You have stayed, you have listened, and you have received, and that posture of your heart has already shifted the atmosphere around you. The breakthrough is no longer a distant hope. It is already set in motion, and now I am breathing on the details. Yes, the small things that seemed overlooked. I see them. The unseen labor, the silent prayers, the moments you gave without applause, loved without reward, served when you felt empty. None of it has been missed by me. In fact, it was in those hidden places where your faith was most powerful. And now, what was done in secret is about to be honored in the open. Can you feel it? That quiet peace rising inside of you isn't just comfort. It's confirmation. You've crossed over. You're not standing at the edge anymore. You've stepped into alignment. Heaven and earth have touched, and your obedience has opened the floodgates. Things that once resisted you are now responding to you. Doors that were shut tight are unlocking. Favor is finding your name. And I want you to understand, not because you earned it, but because you belong to me. I am not blessing you to impress others. I am blessing you to reveal my nature. I don't give halfway. I don't release trickles. I overflow. I pour out in abundance because I am a father who loves without limits. This season of your life will be marked by overflow, not just for your survival, but for your significance. You are stepping into a time where you won't just get through. You will rise up. The same hands that once trembled in uncertainty will now build with boldness. The same voice that once hesitated in fear will now declare with authority. You will speak differently, walk differently, decide differently, because you are becoming who I've always said you were. Strong, radiant, full of purpose. You've asked me many times, God, how will I know when it's time? And I'm telling you now, this is the time. Not because everything feels perfect, but because your heart is finally open. Because even with fear, you're choosing to believe. Even with wounds, you're choosing to trust. And that is where miracles begin. Not in perfection, but in surrender. The next days of your life will carry evidence that I have spoken to you here. You'll look back at this very moment and realize it was real. The peace, the fire in your chest, the tears that came without warning. All of it was me. I was here, I am here, and I will never leave you. Now listen closely, because what I speak now is a declaration over every part of your life. Where you have known anxiety, you will now know peace. Where you have struggled with confusion, I am releasing clarity. Where your heart has carried heaviness, I am pouring joy. Where there was lack, I am commanding provision. Where there were closed doors, I am making a way. Where there were lies about who you are, I am replacing them with my truth. This isn't temporary relief. It's divine reversal. This is me restoring the years the enemy tried to steal. I'm not just handing you back what was taken. I'm returning it with interest. Double portion, exceedingly and abundantly more than you asked. And I am doing it not to repay you, but because of who I am, faithful, unchanging, and good beyond your understanding. I know there's still a part of you that wonders, can this really be for me? Yes, child, it's for you. Not the perfect version of you, not the one who never failed, not the one who has it all together, but you, the one who kept walking through pain, the one who dared to hope again, the one who showed up today with an open heart. That is who I came for. Let this word live inside you. Let it take root in your spirit. Because what I've begun through these words will not stop here. It will grow. It will expand. It will draw people to you who carry answers, opportunities, and assignments. And they won't come because you chased them. They'll come because you were ready. You are no longer bound to the past. The labels, the guilt, the fear, the failure. It ends now. Not because you willed it, but because I spoke it. And when I speak, creation responds. Chains break, waters part, stones roll away. This moment is not just your confirmation, it is your commissioning. So walk forward now with confidence. Say it with boldness. My life is changing. Declare it right where you are. I receive this word. I agree with heaven. I choose to believe. Let your words agree with mine. Let your spirit rise in faith. And if this message has stirred something in you, if you felt seen, held, spoken to, or transformed, don't keep it to yourself. What you've just received wasn't random. It was personal. It was divine. It was Jesus' blessed message sent straight to your heart. And there are others who are still searching, still waiting, still weeping in the dark, not knowing that the light is near. So now I ask you, will you help me reach them? If this message has moved you, I invite you, as your next act of faith, to become part of what I'm doing here. Subscribe to Jesus' Blessed Message on YouTube. Don't just be a viewer, be a vessel. Hit that bell so you never miss another word I speak through this ministry. Comment below. Let others know how this touched you. And most importantly, share it. Someone you know is praying for a sign. And this message may be their answer. And for those who feel led to sow into what you've received, give from the heart. Not because you're pressured, but because you're grateful. That seed you plant may be the very catalyst that unlocks someone else's breakthrough. Remember, I am with you. I go before you. I surround you. Your miracle has not only begun, it is unfolding now. Let these final words be your banner. You are chosen. You are covered. You are called. You are confirmed. And this word was just for you. Amen.